Hi, welcome to Pod of Mercy. I am your host, Long Hair Linda, and today's very special guest co-host is...
I'm a Louis Briggs today, or Bison Briggs, whatever you want to call me.
Which one do you prefer?
I don't know. I feel like it's weird because of the film now. Everyone was calling me Louis on set, which was calling Bobby Robber, so it was, I don't know, Briggsy, just Briggsy is easier.
Briggzy? Yeah, cool. All right. Yay, Briggsy's here. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Long time coming this, so I'm looking forward to it.
I have been, like I said to you before we even started, I've had your name on this list for the entire 5 years this podcast has been going. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to talk to Briggsy about and actually make it a fun experience for him? So yeah, before we get into the topic, because we're going to be talking about the pit today, listen, we don't just go straight into the topic here. We got to start with an icebreaker. We do a rapid fire, okay? So I've got 10 questions for you. I'm going to give you 45 seconds to answer all 10 questions. Do you think you can do it?
Yeah, depending what the questions are.
Well, they should be pretty easy. I want you to just go with the first answer that comes to your head. Some of them are this or that. Some of them you might have to think a little bit about. But I want you to, the best of your ability, think of the first thing that comes to you and just say that.
Okay.
And hopefully you don't get cancelled. This would be a poor time for that to happen.
What editing's for?
Yeah, I'll just edit it out. It's fine. It's okay. But yeah, so I'm pretty quick at asking the question. So what I'll do is as soon as I say go and start asking the first question, that's when the timer starts. If you get through all 10 in the 45 seconds, then you win. If you don't, then I win. There's no prizes. It's bragging rights. We don't have the budget yet. Okay. So don't be expecting anything from me. But you get bragging rights if you do it. All right.
I'll take that.
Cool. All right. Let me get my timer together and then I'll get started. Okay. And go. Tequila or baby Guinness?
Oh, baby Guinness.
What's your favorite rainy day activity?
Watching a movie.
Favorite board game?
Monopoly.
Beach holiday or city break?
City break.
Most important quality in a friend?
Loyalty.
Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Chocolate.
Travel to the past or to the future?
Past.
What dish do you cook best?
Oh, anything Mexican, burritos, fajitas, enchiladas.
One thing you regret spending money on?
Probably bottles.
Oh, with 5 seconds to spare. Very, very well done. Very well done. You did very, very well. So you did that in 40 seconds. I do need to ask you about some of these answers. Yeah. Why do you regret spending money on Premier Battles?
Honestly, it was the first thing that come to my head. No, I love Premier Battles. It's my baby, but it's also the most stressful thing in my life as well.
That's fair. That's fair. You also talked about the dishes that you cook best are typically Mexican food. I love a bit of Mexican food.
Oh, you can't beat
Mexican. I do have a question though, because you specifically mentioned burritos.
Yeah.
Can you wrap the burrito and it stay together as you're eating it?
If I've got the correct wrap, then yeah. You know, when you get a burrito pack and they sometimes give you them wraps, they're too small. You need a proper burrito wrap.
You need the big ones, but they don't typically sell them.
You can't get them anywhere.
No, but it's like the proper big ones. That's how you get it all to stay in. Or you put less things in, but that just sounds shit.
Not fun for no. That's why I can't wrap the small ones, because I put too much in them. But that's what you want a burrito. You want it thick.
Yeah. Thick boy. Pause. All right. Okay. So thank you for that. Very, very well done on beating the clock. Again, no prizes, just bragging rights. So today, Briggsy, we are going to talk about your short film, The Pit. Okay. Yep. So I do have some questions. You don't necessarily have to answer all of them. But, you know, I would like to, for people at least who are going to be tuning into this, to find out a bit more about The Pit, how they can support you, a bit more about the production, a bit more about you as well, if possible. I know a lot of us in the battle rap scene know a lot about you. You've been around obviously forever. So we're going to try and do our best and find out as much as we can.
Yeah, fire away.
So, starting off with The Pit. So, on the Greenlit page, you describe The Pit as an unapologetic, high-energy short film that follows the intertwined paths of two underdogs. So, we've got Banks, the promoter, and Valentine, the performer. Is the character Banks based on you?
You know what the funny thing is? When we was on set, literally everyone was saying it's weird seeing Jamie play you. I mean, obviously I wrote it, so it sort of is, but it's a lot of sort of stories that I've either been through personally or stories that I know other promoters have been through. I've just tried to capture sort of what it is like to run an event, especially such a high stakes event, which we have done loads of times where, the event has to work. So yeah, there's a lot of true experiences in there. Some of the conversations that are in the script are sort of real conversations I've had with people, and I just wanted to give an audience a perspective of what it's like from the promoter as well, which I don't think's ever really been done, especially in a battle rap film. But yeah, I mean, I think there's one scene in it specifically, and people will know when they see the film. But like when we said time on, well, not time, but cut. I kept saying time on set because I'm so used to doing it. But yeah, when you say cut, there's a scene there, and Rick and Stroll were behind me at the time on the monitor, and literally they both turned around and went, "That was like you at an event." That. So yeah, he probably is based on me. He's obviously, I'm writing what I know. You know what I mean? So it probably is. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. So female battlers are so few and far in between, especially here in the UK. What made you decide to go with a female battler as the lead character or as a lead character of this story?
Just the story of it. Valentine originally was male. When I first wrote this script, he was male. And then, the script went through so many. I mean, it's been 4 years of writing this. It's been through so many development levels. Originally, the pit was about Valentine. It wasn't about Banks. And yeah, it was just development over time. It was only really, I'd probably say January that it changed to a female lead. I was just
wow.
Yes, it was all wrote for a male part. And I think it was just a conversation with the production team that I had in place, so like Andy and Jamie. And we just wanted to make the story as good and as authentic as possible. And I know there's not a lot of females, especially in the UK, like battle rap circuit, in regards to performance standpoint, but it just made the human element of the story so much better for me. Like, rather than just having a whole male cast, by adding Valentine and Alicia, who played Valentine, she absolutely nailed it. Like, you sort of understand where she's coming from, but also the promoter side of it, and the dynamic of a male and female in that sort of world, right at the cusp of sort of sacrificing something. It just made the story so much better, and I'm glad we made the decision to actually swap that over from a male to a female, because it just worked. And yeah, I can't wait for people to watch it and understand what I'm trying to say with it, but it just works. The dynamic between, a lad who's got to sacrifice something and a female who's also sacrificing something, but both worlds sort of intertwine, and they've both got to lose something to get what they want at the end. And it just worked. Yeah, it worked. I'm so glad the decision was sick. And obviously, Alicia going against Bobby Rex when we was actually filming was just incredible to watch as well. And that was so powerful, that scene.
No, I love it. I mean, even without seeing the film yet, I think it is a very interesting. You expect it to be a very interesting dynamic. I think, especially because with some of the battle rap movies, or like, trying to capture the essence of battle rap in a way, all the movies I can think of, they are very, very male focused. Obviously, it's a male dominated sport, so that makes total sense. But I do think it's nice. It gives it a nice added little bit of, dynamic with the characters. It gives another element of relationships and another element of the scene in general, which I think is a really good idea. So obviously, without having seen the film, I do like the idea of that story.
I think that's it
go on.
No, sorry, I was just gonna say, I think that's it as well, because I'm telling, basically with the pit, I wanted to sort of give the best representation of battle rap, but also the community that's within it as well. But you only have, with a short film, you have 10 to 11 minutes to tell a full story. So with Valentine, it sort of, there was a protection element around her as well from the other battlers and the promoters. It's like, if this was a feature film, for example, that would have been shown through the audience and the community of, the fans being together and stuff. But it gave me a perfect opportunity to sort of show that, well, one, that females in battle rap can stand up to any male. The fact that I wanted someone that would look intimidated by Bobby on camera, but was far from that in performance. And I think we got that as well. But like I say, obviously in the script, Valentine's going up for the title belt against Bobby Rex's character, and everyone around her is supportive. You know what I mean? All the battlers want to see her win, and everyone's sort of backing her in a sense. And I think that sort of happens with the community in battle rap as well. And it gave me a couple of lines just to show that side of it without going too in depth on it.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think even from a fan perspective, I definitely feel that protection that you were talking about around me for sure. Even though I don't particularly battle, I just go up to events and watch them. But I do feel that as part of the battle rap community. So I think it is a quick, like you say, way of showing it, because it's a short film, of showing that element of battle rap and explaining it to people who might not necessarily have any experience with the scene. I think that's a good shout. So you mentioned the battle in the film with Bobby Rex's character Stress. Yeah. So please do talk to me about the character, the most feared man in UK battle rap. Did you actually write his character with Bobby Rex in mind?
Originally, no. So I'd have to go through it. I'd have to go right back to the start. So when I originally wrote this, it was a feature film, and it was basically about Valentine coming. He was basically a young lad coming out of jail, and he used to be like a well-respected battle rapper. The scene's moved on, everything's passed him by, and he sort of filters his way and tries to find his way back into a sort of a scene again.
Like trying to get that glory.
Yeah, he's trying to sort of relive his youth a little bit, but he went to jail for, I can't remember what the full thing was. I think he ended up beating up another battle rapper pretty badly at an event, and he's sort of like a black cloud over him. He's not getting the respect he wanted. And he's, the scene hates him, but it's the only place he ever felt wanted, sort of thing. So that was the original idea for it. And I had Raptor actually cast for this. But this was like I say, this was 4.5, just before COVID it was, about 4.5 years ago. So Bobby, I always had Bobby in the film. There's a character in the film called Swayze, which was based on Bobby. So all the battle rappers in this film, they've all got a name that's either something to do with the scene or a novelty name. Like, for example, Kojay, who had a little cameo in it, plays a lad called Gambit. But Gambit was Jamie Shelton, who's the lead, his old rap name. He never released a song, but he used to write lyrics and called Gambit. So there's little nods to people.
Little homage to him, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so Bobby was Swayze at one point. And then funny enough, when I rewrote the whole script, I was going to recast Stress anyway as somebody else. And then I sent Bobby the script and just said, can you learn your role? And when I sent it to him, I said, you'll recognize which character you are just by reading the script. Because obviously I thought it's either name Swayze and go, oh, that's definitely me then. And then, funnily enough, he texted me back and he was like, oh, I can't wait to play Stress. I was like, have you read the whole script, Bobby? And he's like, no. And then he messaged back and said, oh, no, I'm Swayze, aren't I? But then the second he said it, it just made sense. It just made sense. I wanted someone big and intimidating. And like I say, before Valentine was decided to be a female role, Jamie Shelton was playing Valentine. He only became Banks when I changed it to follow the promoter. So I always wanted someone big and intimidating to go against Jamie Shelton's character, because Jamie's only, 5'4", 5'5", maybe. Bobby's a big 6'2", bald-headed geezer. So I thought on camera, the intimidation angle of that'll look really strong. But yeah. And then when we cast Alicia, it was like, imagine someone like Bobby Rex screaming in the face of Alicia. And I thought that'd be powerful on camera, but also the fact she's still standing her ground with this big, monster.
Yeah.
And yeah, just to credit Bobby, he brought such an element to the film. Like, even the actors like Jamie and Alicia, they're both credible TV actors. They were both saying like he was so good. Like, he was just took notes. There was, when we started the battle scene, obviously I was never worried about Bobby Rex doing the battle scene. The worry was more on Alicia. And then Bobby just nailed the battle scene, but there was little lines in there that he had where I had to like sort of give him a note and he delivered it perfectly. But he just come alive. He just, the battle scene is so sick. Like, it's so sick.
Was he just in his element? I imagine he was just having. He even just talking to him about it and seeing his excitement in the lead up to it. He was genuinely so passionate about doing it a good job and doing it justice, because I'm sure he saw the value of it, right? So he seemed so excited constantly about it, which is, I'm glad that that's what came across.
Yeah, 100%. And that's my main thing with this film is I need especially the battle scene. For me, it has to look authentic. So we've shot it like a battle. You know, we shot like we would do normally. Obviously, it's the only difference is it's shot on, 50, 60K cameras, like big boys. But it's gonna look like a battle. The edit has to feel like a battle, and they just they nailed it. I'm still sort of digesting the whole film because it only wrapped on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I had a call last night with Jamie, who's obviously plays Banks, and we were both saying the same thing. Like, it felt like something special happened on that set. And for me, as a first-time director, to have Jamie, who's worked on feature films and TV shows, to say they felt like something special happened was like it was great. You know what I mean? And
was it validating for how long it's taken to sort of put this together?
Yeah, honestly, when we wrapped, so we did two. It ended up being like 2 14-hour days, which is a long time on set. And even sorry, just to double back a little bit, even like Bobby, for example, when he did the performance, my only worry was, I know Bobby's going to nail the battle because that's what he does. That's who Bobby Rex is. But we're used to, in this sport, of you've got one take. You know what I mean? If you choke, you choke. You can't go cut, let's reset and go again.
Yeah.
And my only worry was, can Bobby repeat the same performance over and over and over again, but keep the energy? Because obviously you get tired of your material, you don't want to run it, but when you've done it 15 times, and if anything, he got better and better and better every take.
I love it.
He felt more like an actor as well by the end of it, if that makes sense. Like, there was a bit where he was rushing around and I was saying, just slow that down and just say this. And he was just nailing it. Like, there's a big moment in the battle, which won't ruin, but there's a big moment, and like just natural facial reactions from Bobby and Alicia and Jamie was like just powerful, man. It was power. It was, yeah. I've not seen the edit. I've not even watched the footage back because I can't bring myself to watch it yet. It honestly felt, when we cut on Tuesday, Wednesday felt like I was hungover. Like, I was in bed all day, but it was just pure, the adrenaline for 2 days of 14 hours and then being on your feet. I couldn't bear to talk about the film. I couldn't bear to look at any pictures or anything. But yeah, today's the day where I'm like, I'm going to get stuck into it tonight, I think. So
I love it.
Can't wait.
Ooh, so excited. You talked about like Gambit, the name being like a nod to Jamie's old battle name or rap name. And you talked about some of the, obviously some of the people that we would recognize, some battle rap friends in the movie. But are there any other cameos that you can tell us about today?
Yeah,
that you might recognize.
Honestly, that's what made this film for me beautiful in a way. That's what I'm just going to call it, beautiful. Like, I got to share it with so many people that I'm close to. You know what I mean? Like, battle rappers that I've been with for some of them over 10 years now. But the fact I got to share my directorial debut with some people that are classed as close friends was like, it was just the vibe was just great all day. But yeah, I mean, cameo wise, you have like obviously Cole J's in it, Bobby Rex is in it, Bizzo's in the background, Gas Buff was in the background, Caveman, Bloodstraw, Rick Charles does what Rick Charles does and manages to get himself a credit. He's even got a character name, which was never planned. Basically, Rick was going to be a cameraman, and Jamie just improv'd at the start of the film when Rick give us a countdown, and then all of a sudden he becomes a character called Rick in the film now. So he's managed to get credit, the little crafty bastard. But yeah, these who was there? Gas Buff, Caveman, Bizzo, Cole J, obviously Nick Dixon and Mike from Red Lion were in there as well. Bloodstraw, yeah, there was quite a few, man. It was nice. It was nice to see them happy about something as well. Yeah. Like, just watching them on camera and not having to battle and just be part of a film was It was good. It was good to get to share it together. As cheesy and hallmarky as that sounds, it was nice.
No, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's cheesy, man. It's all right. It's just a bit of joy, a bit of happiness. It's okay. So something else you say on Greenlit about the pit is that the pit plunges you straight into the intense environment of UK battle rap, where your respect is earned. So obviously, without giving away any spoilers, would you say that the characters will earn the respect of us viewers?
Yeah, I think maybe not respect them, but you respect their decision.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the film follows Banks, who's, I mean, this is all in the script, so I can tell you this anyway. But basically, this is a title match. It's the biggest event of the year. Banks it drops you in on the co-headline. So literally, the start of the film is the co-headline battle. And then we follow Banks' journey while he's just running this event, and everything is sort of on top of him. Things going wrong, battlers needing pay. Fans arguing, can't find one battler because they're outside smoking. It's just, if you've ever watched sort of Uncut Gems or The Bear, it's very much that pace. It's just non-stop, sort of high anxiety-driven sort of filming. But yeah, we follow his journey, and he needs this event to work, essentially. If this event doesn't work, the very high potential that there is no event next year, that they're done, which is where we've been a few times with Prem. And then on the flip side, you've got Alicia's character, Valentine, who she's about to become, or is aiming to become, the first ever female champion of UK battle rap. Massive for her accolades, and to prove that, females can do it in this male-dominated sport as well. But she has a situation in a family outside of it where she sort of has to make the decision of, do I stay and battle, or do I leave the venue right now? If she leaves, obviously, Banks loses everything.
Yeah.
But she also loses the chance at a title. And then Banks has a decision of, does he make Valentine stay? If he does make her stay, she potentially loses that friendship with her. It's just basically the whole narrative is like, what are people willing to sacrifice for their own personal success? So that's sort of the narrative of it. Yeah. So I think people will respect their decision, whether they respect both of them at the end.
Oh, all right. Okay, I'm excited. So you might know this about me, but I was a production manager a few years back. And all in all, liked the job, love the pre-production process of like planning everything. That's like my bag. I love a bit of planning. There was one part, though, that I absolutely hated, and that was casting. I really hated dealing with actors. Nice people. It's not that the people themselves weren't nice, but I just hated having to... I hated every part of casting. It just was not it for me. So, obviously, this was a long time in the making, but in terms of the pre-production process for this film, what was your least favourite part?
Oh, good question. I'd probably say the least favourite, but I also really enjoyed it, was just the script writing, because it's the first script I've ever wrote as well. I've done like little bits in university and stuff, but like this is the first script that I've ever wrote that's been shot. And what you find with it, especially when it's something about battle rap, which is something I'm massively passionate about, it had to be authentic and true for me. I didn't just want to write something that I didn't know, but also I didn't want to write something and then release it and be like, that didn't represent the scene. It didn't represent the work that goes into it. It just felt unnatural. I didn't want it to look like a student film. You know what I mean? I wanted to do something that is cinematic, but at the same time highly represents what we all do. So the script was sort of painstaking, because honestly, I reckon we went through probably 120, 30 rewrites of the script. But what happens is it becomes your baby then. So, you wrote a script. The amount of times that I wrote a script, finished it, and then I sent it to a few script editors that I know in the industry, and they were coming back with feedback. And then it's sort of on you then, whether you accept the feedback or you stick with your guns. So I'd probably say the most enjoyable bit was that. But it's a two-sided coin, really, because but it made the film so much better just by rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. There was so much fat that came out of it. literally before we shot, that the script was 32 pages because I was going to make this into an episode of a pilot. And we ended up getting the script down to 14 pages. So we cut out nearly half of the fat, but the pacing of it was so much better. So yeah, I guess it's just the worst part is obviously your story just getting ripped apart and ripped apart and ripped apart and ripped apart, but then you end up with the best version of that script. So
yeah,
that was probably the hardest bit. And the sort of GoFundMe stuff, I hate asking for money. I hate doing it. It's just never been me. I'm not a big fan of doing it. But it's just one of the things that happens in this industry. If you want to get short film made, you raise funds. But yeah, that's one thing I didn't really enjoy. I didn't really promote the golf. I threw a couple of tweets up, but I hate asking anybody for money. It's one of my
I hear that.
Yeah, I'd rather just have a millionaire who goes, there you go make it, and then
here's some money. Go do what you want to do.
Yeah. If I had one of them, if I had I need a sugar mama, don't I?
You do.
The worst bit.
You talked about just a second ago. You were talking about how, like, when you were filming, you were accidentally saying time instead of cut, and like, obviously there'd be like 50, 60K cameras and stuff on set. What are some of the differences and similarities with filming a battle versus filming a battle for a film?
Battle rap is it's the easiest thing in the world to film, but it's also, for me, one of the most technical ones because, like, anyone can point a camera and shoot, basically. Like, the standard battle rap angle is a wide and the two on each side of the screen, host in the middle, and you just roll and film. But I think, especially with the latest event we've just done with the Plug 5 and Apex as well with Gem and Bizzo, we've really tried to step up the visual look to look more cinematic anyway.
Absolute movies each time. Yeah.
That's what we've been aiming for. So I think that's sort of helped going into this film because we've tried to make it look like a battle, but we tried to make the battles look like a film. So yeah, I mean, probably over the last 12 months with Prem, there's not been much of a difference because that's the way we've been shooting. Even like what people don't realize is the way, we film a battle. We don't we put weeks of prep into filming an event. Like, all the stuff people don't see is, like, we sit down, we plan where the lights are going to be arranged, what the stage is going to look like, which camera, which lens, and everything is planned out to a T. So we do treat it like a film set anyway, especially over the last 12 months. But like, lighting is a massive factor. Like, lighting just makes everything look amazing. So yeah, it's probably just that sort of. I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain a battle film. Is like, you sort of want the audience to feel like they're in the pit with you.
Yeah.
Rather than, like I say, point and shoot. Never use a tripod. I hate events that use tripods. Don't get it, because why do you want it still? You want to feel the little bumps and movements of the cameraman. The B angle, like Photo Boy, for example, I sort of want it over the shoulder, so you're seeing the back of the head of the opponent. You're seeing the person getting in the face and stuff. Like, we've really tried to do that with Prem, and I feel like that has sort of come into this film as well, because that's how you would shoot a film. If anyone is into acting or whatever, you get your wides and your singles and your mid shots. That's how we shoot battles now. So
yeah,
I don't think there's been much difference going into this. But that will help it as well. Like I say, with the film, I want it to feel like if you're not a battle rap fan, you've never watched battle rap, you'll watch it and enjoy it. If you're a battle rap fan, you'll automatically notice the Prem angles that we use, because we've used them in this as well. So
yeah, it'll feel like home, like you already watched something.
That's what I wanted. The little knocks on the camera, like, sometimes when Bagnall's filming and someone will knock him, or all that's in the film, but I wanted all that because I want you to watch it going, I feel like I'm stood front row in the pit here.
Yeah.
You can't really get that anywhere unless it's done right.
100%. Well, speaking of feeling like you're in the pit, obviously you had some extras in there that were in the crowd. Now, I'm assuming that, a lot of these extras might not have been battle rap fans necessarily and been to battle rap events. What was it like kind of working with extras, and how was it, in your directorial debut, being able to kind of direct them into knowing when to react and what that would be like in a real event?
What was weird on this? They got it. They just got it. the first take was a bit like they were reacting, but they were sort of, because it's a film set, you used to being quiet. So like, you know, they'd react on the fourth bar, but it'd be like, oh, and then stop again. Where a bit Hollyoaks there, you know what I mean? It was a bit like, oh, he said something.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair enough to all the extras that came on. So we worked with, so Andy Ellis, who was the producer on this, and Jamie, they teach at an acting school in Manchester. So they just cast all their students and give them a set experience.
Oh, awesome.
Which was class. Like they were all young, you know, young kids, all 18, 19, 20, all getting into acting. And this was the first time they'd ever, I reckon, probably, I think there was one lad who'd been to a battle event. Every single one of them was new after that. And, you know, straight after the event, they were all following Prem and saying they want to come to events, which was sick.
Ah.
It was really nice, but they just got it. Like, there was literally, we did the first take as a tester. Cole J was in the very first take we did with him. And Cole J plays a battle, or he opens up one of the battles, says 2 lines. But I just didn't shout cut. I just wanted to see how long it'd go before anyone said anything. He ended up rapping like a full 90-second verse in the venue.
Of course.
Shit. But he was just looking at me going, are we still going? I was like, I've been finished, mate. But yeah, no, there was literally one time where I sort of had to stand up in front of everyone and just said, look, if you go to battle rap events or sort of looking at like the gas buffs and the bizzos and the strolls, like, you lead the reaction and everyone else just follow them.
Yeah.
And they just nailed it. Like, they got it. I give them a little tee up, like, you know, every 4 bars going to be a punch. React to that. React if it's, you know, if it's something a bit personal, you want it to be like a ooh rather than a and yeah, they got it. They got it.
I love it.
I think as well, because the battle was so authentic, especially with Bobber, people were it's just a natural reaction anyway. Like, sometimes you don't, you know what it's like. You go to events, you don't plan to react. It just comes out. And yeah, I think it was very natural. There was a few Hollyoaksy moments, but we'll cheat that in the post anyway.
It's all right. Bit of pantomime never hurt anyone.
Yeah, behind.
But I think that is a really important thing. You were talking about how, like, you know, it's important for people to kind of be the guide, people that are used to it being the guide for what reactions are acceptable, when to react. You know, it lets people who are newer know, you know, when they're supposed to be reacting. And I think that's really important in real events. Like, I feel like, I think I've said this before in a space where, you know, OG fans and battlers that are in the crowd, not battling, obviously, when we're watching a battle, you can't be stush. You have to actually, if you would normally react, if you're enjoying it, actually out loud it, because especially at big events, you know, you've got new people that might be there. They don't know whether it's appropriate to cheer 100%. And to, you know, go mad and enjoy what, you know, when they actually show that they're enjoying what they're seeing. We have to let them know that it's cool to do that and it's appropriate to do that. And we can only do that by actually reacting naturally and enjoying, exactly. And not being too like tight-fisted about our reactions, you know.
100%. And like you say, it's battle rap is one of them things where the reaction is not like, you know, you're not going to go to Greg's and they pull out the sausage rolls and you go, oh, like, battle rap's the only place like, I would never just randomly react to something, but battle rap pulls that out of you. And I think when people go to the first event, like you say, the first couple of battles are probably a bit quiet because, like, do you react there? What do you say? I would never put a gun finger up in my life, but like, your body just does it. You know what I mean? Especially when you've been going for so long and you understand the technicalities of writing and things like that. Like, and I think that happens. I think when we did this short of, like, by the time we were getting to like the 7th or 8th take, the reactions were just getting bigger and bigger and bigger because people were understanding what was going on. And it all, like, even with the extras, like, we purposely planned not to fill the venue out. I wanted it to feel like a normal UK battle. I didn't want to do like a steel yard, or because I don't think you know, it's good for Prem to do them events, but they are also once a year. Like, we don't. That's not an average battle rap experience for people. So that's why he's in a pit. You know, the essays, the standing actors are all sort of scattered around. But it's not the pit's not massively full. I reckon we probably had 50 people there. But when you go to a lot of events, you're probably getting, unless they're the bigger ones, you sort of getting that sort of numbers anyway. And it's one of the reasons we did it at Factory. So we shot in Factory where we actually did Apex when I battled O'Shea a couple of years ago. So I wanted to use a real venue that we've used. I wanted to use battlers in the crowd and stuff like that, but also extras. I thought the number was. If I probably could go back, I'd probably add another 10 in there, but. Yeah, it felt like an event. I felt like I was at like an undisclosed or a short circuit. That's how I wanted the vibe of this to feel, and just a bit more premium, like
and I think that's how you get the intensity as well, right? Because you get that intensity of the pit. Yes, stage battles is absolutely a place for them in places like Steelyard and stuff. But when we're talking about the intensity of pit battles, that dogfight, you get that in the pit. You get that in a smaller crowd, smaller venue, tight space, and it's just that's where you get that intensity. Yeah, man, it feels different. Even as somebody that's been going to events for near a decade, maybe, like it feels different being there, but it also feels different watching it. It feels like a scrap, like
100%
to its essence there, and I think that helps with what you're trying to achieve with the pit.
Yeah, and it fits the film because the film is so sort of basically it's an adrenaline rush from the first scene, like. Like I say, it's very much when I sent the script to a lot of like friends and stuff like that in the industry. The references I kept getting back was it feels like The Bear, it feels like Uncut Gems, where there's literally the way I've done it is the first like 8 scenes are literally just relentless. Everything is piling up on top of Banks, and then there's one scene where everything just stops. It's just silence. That's his 2 minutes to breathe backstage when nothing else is going on. But it's also I want the audience to have a fucking hell. I needed that. I needed to just breathe for a second and then straight into the intensity of the battle. Yeah, right. Like that's sort of what an event is like. People don't realize like I'll run an event, and let's say an event, a standard one, the plug just gone. You turn up at 10:30. And then we're loading in. We're setting up cameras, setting up lights, making sure everything's done. Person on the doors there, bar staff are set up. Then you've got to go through venue security. You've got to go. There's so many things before the doors even open that you've got to tick off. Once that's ticked off, then it's fans are coming in. Then it's battlers are not there on time. Someone's no-showed. The cameraman's left the battery outside. Like, who's on the stage, who can't be on the stage. And then there's so much that goes on. It's one of the reasons that I always say, like, I never feel like I get to socialize at an event because I don't have time.
Yeah.
A lot of the times now, especially recently, I'll sort of host the battles and then I'll leave the pit. That's because it's not a disrespect to the battlers. That's just for the next 10 minutes. I've got 10 minutes to sit backstage, check my emails, have a quick drink of water, maybe have a snack or something, and then I'm back out also in the next battle. And that's how I wanted this to feel, where it is just relentless. And then there's a 2-minute block where it is just Jamie backstage. And it's like, right, we can breathe for a second. But then obviously Jamie's character's then got to digest a lot of information that's going on. And then how he reacts to that, he doesn't have time to. The next thing he knows, he's in the middle of the pit hosting the battle. So yeah, it's a bit high. It's high throttle. I'm hoping it comes across in the edit. I've not even touched the footage yet. I might be saying, "Oh, listen, it's absolutely bobbins," but
I doubt it very much. I doubt it. But it is interesting that kind of 2 minutes of silence before a big battle as well, because even though it's in a slightly different way, or a very different way, because we don't have the pressure on us, I think fans will probably recognize. People that go to events often will recognize what that 2 minutes of silence before a big battle happens. Just as you were explaining it, I was thinking about, right before our main event, when we're in the crowd and you guys are, in the pit or on the stage, and you said to us, all right, everyone come down. It's right before you do the first intro, before the camera goes on and everything. That little bit of just quiet, I think makes, I don't know, man, it adds something. Like sometimes I get butterflies as if I'm about to battle. I don't even battle, but like a main event, like when you get that quiet moment before you guys start doing the intro on camera, like you get like butterflies. Like it's the anticipation, but you're also having to be quiet. And then the first thing you do when you start with the intro is tell us all, welcome to Premier Battles of the Day. And we all go crazy. And I think that's I think that's a really nice thing I think us watching it will be able to relate to that, even though we're not the promoters and we won't know necessarily what that would feel like. I think we could also pull something from that as well, from that moment of Jamie's character being like,
I think the thing is as well, like, that little, and it's, it's like you say, when we go like, hold it down, main event's going to happen now, that little moment of silence usually is 3 seconds tops, 3 seconds. But in that 3 seconds, the battlers have got to compose themselves. I've got to compose myself, whoever's co-hosting. But then the camera guys have got to be like, have I got enough battery? Have I got enough car space? Everyone's got to roll at the same time. Is the audio right? It's 3 seconds to get this right. And so I think it was Jamie. Jamie actually said to me on set before we started rolling on the battle scene, he was like, how do you feel before the headline of an event? Like literally when you stood there, because he was trying to get in his own head about it. And I don't even know what the response was. It's just autopilot. It's the only time, this is weird as well, the only time I've ever genuinely been nervous about hosting a battle randomly this as well was Bizzo and Gemini. I don't know why. I think it was just because it was so long in the making, the battle of building it up to champ, you know what I mean? It was Bizzo's not lost for 2 years. Gemini's coming in to potentially take the title. There was a lot building up on this battle, and we needed, in my head, and it's similar to Banks, in my head, this battle had to be a success.
Had to be perfect.
Up, yeah, it just needed that. Gemini was about to become 2-time champion of both leagues. But if you would have absolutely mopped the floor with Bizzo, the whole narrative would have been Bizzo can't get protected by, Premier battles anymore. But then at the same time, it changes the whole dynamic of Gemini being 2 league champions now. Now there's a tiny bit of like unity there a little bit. And that was the only battle where it took me a minute just to go, right, big breath. And you know what it is? It's the second Bagnall or Jamie, whoever's on the camera, the second they go, 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Yeah.
We did that in the film, and it wasn't even in the script, but Jamie said to me, he was like, when we start rolling, when you say action, can someone just give me a 3, 2, 1? Because I feel like that's when the mask comes on as the promoter. And I was like, that's exactly what happens in life. I become the promoter when I hear the words 3, 2, 1. And then you straight away,
that's
you're
extremely insightful of him. He's been watching you close at these events. That's extremely insightful of him to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, he's filmed enough events as well, and he's but he hosted Undisclosed 13 on
Saturday. He did so good as well. He did good. He was confident in anything, proper loud. Like, yeah, he looked like he fit right in.
But he's going to try and take my job, and I'm going to have to start acting.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so were there any hiccups on set?
No hiccups on scene. There was one of the first day, when fucking very first thing that happened as well. We got there Monday morning, was all set, and some of the lights didn't arrive, which were the big. So at the back of the stage, we've got, I don't think I put any footage out at all, but there's like massive circle, like basically like Hollywood lights. We had loads of them. Which cost a fucking fortune. But yeah, they brought the scene alive, but they didn't arrive. So we had to basically go and arrange a van, send one of the actors, Nathan, with Andy to the other side of Manchester to collect him, get back while we were setting up ready to film. But that's genuinely it. Everyone was on the ball. Like, everyone arrived on set on time. There was a couple of extras that didn't turn up that emailed us and said they were guaranteed to be there. The difficulty that is you plan where they're going to be placed. So when they don't turn up, then you've got to start reshuffling everyone around. So that was a bit annoying. But aside from that, there was genuinely, audio was good, cameras looked great. Everything else was perfect. Yeah, none of the scenes. I'll tell you what was good as well. It was like, there was 1 or 2 scenes that just weren't working for me in regards to like the way they looked and stuff. And everyone on set was on the same brain, like just brain length. You know what I mean? There was nobody there that was going, he's the director, I can't say that, or he's the cameraman, I can't say that. Everyone was just going, what about we try this? And it just made the shoot so much better. Like, we ended up merging 2 scenes together on set, like in the moment, and was just like, that felt well better to do that. Like, let's just do that. And I even sat down with the actors and I was like, if the script's not working when you're delivering it, as long as you're hitting the right beats, I don't care what the wording is. So it was just a massive collaboration. Yeah, I mean, people tend to keep everything away from the director anyway, don't they? So if there was anything that went wrong, they did a really good job of not stressing me out about it.
Yep. They fixed it, has figured it out on their own. So yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't know about it. That's
The
always
only
good.
downside was I'd spent 2 days with Rick Charles, but aside from that, everything was
Well, speaking of the with the crew, obviously you're used to working with Rick Charles, working with Stro.
Yeah.
But how was it working with our Battle Rap friends? You had Bizzo as the performance consultant,
Yeah.
Lazy as the script editor, and Visual as a remote producer on this project. So how was that?
Good. Like I say again, it was nice that I got to share this experience with so many people that I'm around anyway. Visual for the start. He's a good mate of mine outside of battle rap anyway. Like we get on really well. And obviously, Visual works within the TV and film industry anyway, so he knows what he's doing. So when we originally pitched all this, the idea of shooting it, he was the first person I reached out to as a producer alongside Odd, which is Andy and Jamie. So yeah, Visual was always a no-brainer. He was always going to be on board. Unfortunately, he got ill the week before, so he couldn't actually make the shoot, which is why he's down as a remote producer, because he's just handled a few things that he can while he's away. And then Lazy again was a random one. He sort of I shot another film. I produced another film in September up in Blackpool. And I got talking to Jake about script, because I know he was into his script editing and stuff. And I got him on the Blackpool role. So the Blackpool was essentially a feature film. We just made a short version of it for now, so we can earn some money on it. But yeah, I brought him in on that, and he did really well. Like, his feedback was class. So I sent him the pit and just said, give me some honest feedback on this. I expected him to tear it apart. And he came back with some really, really good feedback, which made the script like 10 times stronger than what it was. So yeah, again, Jake was meant to be on set, but the storm on Sunday night cancelled all the trains from London to Manchester. So yeah, that was unfortunate. It would have been nice to have him on set, but working with him in a professional format was great. Yeah, they were both really good at what they do, and I'm hoping they do something with it. You know what I mean? I know Visual already is, and Jake's getting in the industry now, but it just shows a bunch of creative bastards in the scene, aren't there?
Listen, there's some talented people in battle rap for sure. I know obviously you were talking about how you never really sort of touched it afterwards. Like Wednesday, you felt hungover, and you might sort of look at some of the stuff tonight. But do you have any kind of post-production timeline you can share with us? When and how can we expect to see the film?
Yeah, so I'm gonna look at it tonight. I'm not editing it. I want to disattach myself from the edit, because I think if I edit it, it'll never come out. I'll be too precious over it. So I'm gonna identify. I've not got anyone yet, but I'm gonna research a couple of editors and see who sort of fits the profile of it best. My ideal goal is to get this done by the end of February.
Nice.
Whether that is happening, I don't know. It's because it's not like a battle, I can't just throw it up and then color grade it. I'm gonna get it proper sound designed. All the sounds gonna be authentic on it. I think Blizzard's gonna do some of the sound design, so that'd be great. Blizzard's gonna be a composer on it, so it'll all be original soundtracks. But then I've got to get a proper colorist on board. I've got to get just there's loads. People think it's just put it in Premiere and export it, but there's so many elements to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping end of Feb, which would be great, but it won't be out publicly probably for, well, depends how well it does. If it does really well, then it could be 2 years before it's public.
Okay.
Because it'll do a festival run. So I'm going to do a private screening. So I'll do a private screening in Manchester. I'll probably do one for cast and crew, and then I'll probably do something where people can come and watch it or whatever. But yeah, I reckon end of Feb, but then it'll do its festival run. I'm going to put it into all the festivals. So, if it bombs at every festival, you might be able to see it by March, but hopefully it does.
It won't.
Yeah.
It won't. Don't even speak that into existence. It's not possible. It's got to do well. It's going to do well, because it has to.
I think it will. I'm very excited for it. I think, like I say, I mean, in festivals, I don't think there'll be another film like this on any festival board.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like I said, I've not seen the footage yet, so I don't want to over talk it, but it felt like we had something. I think everyone walked off set and went, "That's something that." But the idea goal is go through festivals, and then hopefully get this picked up as a series, and then we can build off the back of it, which would be great.
Okay. Love it. Okay. So let's just talk about you, the man behind this, a little bit. Obviously, a lot of us in the battle rap community, we do refer to you as the hardest working man in battle rap, simply because of, I mean, we've witnessed the dedication, we've witnessed the 1,000 hours that you've put into this scene. Very oftentimes it's thankless, not for much reward for you, but at least not material reward anyway. Not inside in the soul. But I do want to find out from you, firstly, Briggs, why do you do this? Why do you still do it?
You know what? That's one of the lines in the film. I honestly don't know. The easy answer is just because I love it. But yeah, I don't know. It's an escape. But it's more than that. You know what I mean? It's more. I get to be with people that I don't see often as well. Like little things like that for me. Like, you know, I've always had a hobby, whatever the hobby was. The battle rap just decided to become a hobby, then became a business. I don't treat it any differently than I did when I was a battler, apart from I probably work harder as a promoter than I did as a battler. There's a lot more prepping that goes in. But yeah, no, it's like, you can't. I think once you're in, you really struggle to leave. And if you leave as well, you've got to like completely disattach. And I can't. I've tried. I can't completely disattach. You know, the people that have been in battle rap, and you'll know this as well because you're at the events. Like, I feel like the people that have walked away, even as fans, like they've had to commit to not being at events. I think once you go through like a year of it, then you past it then. But like anything, but for me, it's the adrenaline. Like you do an event and it goes terribly, and you're like, right, this is my last year. I'm done with this. I think I've said this every year. Like I'm
literally have.
Yeah, the end of last year with the Shotty Twerk situation, I was pulling away completely. But yeah, then you have an event, Bizzo and Jazz the Rap on, you go, fucking that's why I do it. That's why I still do it. And then, you know, the plug event with Cole J and Jem and Nitty and Jazz again, you go like, this is why I'm still here at 37 years old hosting. I don't want to be hosting battles when I'm 40. That's my big worry. I can't do that. But I have said, if we get to a point, my ideal thing is if I can get to a point where I can hire someone like Trouble on a salary. We're nowhere near that yet, but the ideal goal is to get to that where I can just run the business then, and I don't have to be hosting events. I don't have to be booking battles. Trouble and Stro are more than capable of doing that. But yeah, I love it. I even think that if I stepped away and ran the business, I'd still be at events just watching. Like,
well, I was going to say, at least you'd actually get to come to the event and enjoy the battles without having to go in the back and be like, oof, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. You could probably just come and watch the battles with us.
That's probably the worst part of running the league is like, you can't really enjoy the events until it's done. And when it's done, it's, you know, and I've always said this, I'm not a promoter that turns up. I can't drink at my own events. I'll have one or two maybe, but I don't want to be the promoter that's drunk while battles are happening. I just think it's such a bad look anyway. But like, I've got to be switched on in case something happens. Even like Shocks no showing. If I was drunk, I probably would have just jumped on the mic and started going crazy about Shocks. But like, you've got to hold a certain level of. If I'm asking my battlers to turn up and kill it, I can't be sloppy behind them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I can't really enjoy it. And then when the event finishes, everyone else is that drunk. I can't enjoy the post event with everybody else because I'm stone cold sober. Which is why a lot of the time I just dip. You know what I'm like. I'll just dip. I'll go and get food. I'll go and maybe drink with the staff because we're all on the same level. But yeah, my enjoyment is coming away from it, looking on Twitter and, you know, seeing the reaction and people saying they loved it. Like, that's when you know you've done a good job. And then it's like, right. Well, I was going to say that then it's chill time, but it's not. Then it's getting the Patreon up, and then
I was going to say, why are you even going to lie? Because you disappear, and then suddenly there's something on Patreon immediately that night. And the worst, the actual insane one I've seen is standing in Plug recently. We're watching. Dojo was up first, so we're watching. What were we watching? We're watching the third battle of the day. So yeah, there were two battles that happened, and then we're watching the third. And literally, Dojo's in the crowd, standing next to me. And he goes, "My battle's on Patreon." I'm like, "What?" Like, yeah, it's on Patreon. So you were just in the venue on the side uploading battles literally within minutes of them happening
Yeah.
onto Patreon, which was insane.
Yeah, don't get
Absolutely
used to
insane.
that.
Is that as close as we're going to get to a live PPV? Is that it?
Yeah, funny enough, I was talking about lives last night. Live is something we want to do, but
You're cautious though, right?
yeah, I'm too, and it's a, it's a personality trait, I guess. I'm too much of a perfectionist with production. Like, I don't want to, like I say, I don't want to put a camera in the corner on a tripod, and if it crashes, I'm not really that bothered. It has to be perfect. Like when we did the Anarchy stream, we made no money off that, but that was costing Prem about 850 quid every time because I had to hire someone to manage the stream with multi-cameras and setting up the couch for Trouble and stuff like that. Like, if I'm going to do
the one that was going out to Twitch, wasn't it?
Yeah, Twitch, yeah.
Yeah.
But because everyone was in COVID, I thought this is our opportunity to show everyone around the world what we can do at what level we can do it at. But like, because the money's not in battle rap, spending 850 quid on a live pay-per-view guy. And you know what? I'm a big fan of come to the events. Like, I know pay-per-view would help us financially, but I'd prefer a full crowd over pay-per-view every single day. Like, there's nothing better than being in the room and it's going crazy.
I think a live pay-per-view, to be honest, I think the only benefit of that would probably be more international. So if you've got a lot of internationals on a card, maybe for that, consider it. Yeah. If you're going to have Americans tune in and stuff, obviously with time differences is a bit hard, but I was thinking back to, the times that I've watched the most sort of KOTD and whatever, these events that have happened. The ones I've watched the most on a pay-per-view have been live pay-per-views. Otherwise, I'd wait for the drop. Typically, I mean, always sometimes I have paid for ones that aren't live, but generally speaking, it will be because I'll make a thing of it. It will be a Saturday night. We'll stay up till late. We'll watch it, like the GTX one. We'll watch that live, the one that Luna was on and stuff. Yeah. So, like things like that. Like I feel like I'd understand you maybe thinking about potentially doing lives for that because these people are never going to get on a flight and come here, right? But I do also understand that you'd much rather if you're here, if there's a train from yours to the venue, just go to the event, have a good time, like add to the vibe and say you were there and saw it, because there is something to that. Like, it's a special feeling to have been in the room, like watching that 2-on-2. It looks, don't get me wrong, it looks incredible. The final edit looks so sick. I thought it was probably the best that PB has produced, if I'm being quite honest. But being in the room was still more special than even that. Actually seeing it, actually meeting Rom Nitty, and like these are not things that happen. I was saying this on a space before. We were queuing up to take a picture with Rom Nitty. You don't get to do that by watching it on a YouTube drop. You don't even get to do that by just supporting the Patreon. Like, come to the event if you can. Have a good time while you're there.
People always ask me what a battle rap event's like, and I'm like, I can't explain it until you have to go in it. I think everyone has their own different experience of an event, but every single experience is positive. Unless the only time you ever get a negative experience is like if the event's crap. But
yeah,
I couldn't tell. Even when we've had massive dropouts, I couldn't tell you the last event I walked away from when that was a terrible event.
Do you know the biggest one that we had a load of dropouts, and I think it was early 2023, I believe we were in the venue in Manchester. There was so many. It was a time when I think Villain was on that story playing football with the police.
We had to do it with 3 battles.
And it was like there was loads of dropouts. But you know what? Shotty got on the fucking decks and was like playing classics. We were having the best time. When I left there, I didn't think, oh, that was a shit event. I didn't think that at all. Like, yeah, there was loads of dropouts. Obviously, it's not ideal, and I'm not encouraging that. I think battlers have got to do a much better job moving forward of being professional. Like, there's no reason that Romney and Jazz can fly from, Phoenix and from LA to come to here and battle and put on everything, and you can't show up from down the road. Get a grip. Yeah. But at the same time, like, even when you have the worst that can happen, which is dropouts, you still have a great time because it's about the people. It's about what we make of it, the community, and what you get from it.
Like you say, but we all go there to see battles, but at the same time, we all go there to see each other. Like,
yeah, it's like a family reunion all the time. I love it.
100%. I don't get to see a lot of people from London and stuff all the time, but like when you do it, even Trubs, like I speak to Trubs every single day, but I actually see him probably 3 times a year in person, which is crazy. But like, it's always nice, you know what I mean? It's nice to go down there on the Friday and go for food with like Trouble and Bagnall and people that like I've known for years, but I very rarely get to see. That's one of the reasons I still do it as well. Is like I've got mates all across the country that I get to meet every couple of weeks because of battle rap, which is mad.
No, I love it. It's so good. Well, listen, with all the ups and downs and the struggles and the sacrifices over the years at Premier Battles, creating your own production company as well, or Draw Digital, making music, and even threatening to return to battle rap every now and again and smoke someone, you know, just every now and again you'll say you'll do it. Would you say that you're living the dream? Are you living in your purpose, Briggs?
I don't know. There's still more to what I do. There's loads I want to do.
Always.
Yeah, I'm slowly ticking bucket list stuff off though. Like even like directing a film was one of my big bucket list things. Writing a script is another one. But yeah, I feel like I'm sort of. I know where Prem's going. We've just got to get it there, which is the tough task. But that's like anything. So yeah, I'm very happy with where Prem is. I think it can be bigger than it is now. And myself, like I've always wanted to get into direct. I've been a producer for 10 years now. I want to go into directing, and that was a great example of what it's like for me to do it. So yeah, I think yeah.
So do you plan on creating more of these stories then, as a director?
100%. My ideal situation with the pit here is it gets picked up and taken into a series. Then I can really bring it to life. But if we've got the way I try and do everything I do is everything feeds each other. So if I do well in TV and film, I can put that into Prem. If Prem does well, I can put that into. One thing we've always spoke about with Prem as well is like, I don't want it to be a battle rap event only. Like I want that to be one of the tent poles of the business, but around that we have, because I feel like battle rappers are personalities as well. And you got all these YouTubers who are blowing up. Like battle rappers are funnier and if not more talented most of the time.
Man,
like, we've got.
There's not even a question about being more talented. 100% more talented.
And we've got to showcase that. You know what I mean? This is one of the things why it was so nice to have like Bobby and Bizzo and Cole J and that in the film as well. They're showing another side of them, and everything gives itself a platform for someone else to do well. So, yeah, I think I am. I think I'm living where I wanted to go. Obviously, I can always do more. But yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, I wish I would have done that," or I feel like I missed out on something. I'm happy with where everything has gone, which is good because I feel like I'm at the start of a journey on both paths. You know what I mean? I'm not nowhere near where I'm going to end up.
I love it. Where would you be right now if you hadn't followed your dream, or if you weren't following your dream?
Miserable and depressed somewhere, probably. Yeah, I don't know. Imagine I would never have walked into that venue, and because, like you say, it all feeds into each other. Like if I never would have walked into Don't Flop years ago and Raptor no showed L's, I never would have battled. I never would have made a film about battle rap. Yeah, Don't Flop and Premier Battles like changed everything in a way. Like I was doing well with music before I got into battling anyway. But then music sort of took a back seat when battle rap took the forefront. But then working in battle rap, I met people. I ended up going into production with Unilad, and then Unilad led me to Man United, and Man United led me to setting my own business up. And battle rap has always been sort of the spine through all of that. The amount of people I've met in battle rap. For example, I'm doing a shoot next Friday and Saturday with Marlo because of battle rap. Nothing to do with battle rap, but because we both work in the same industry. So yeah, everything's sort of nice, man. I'm happy with where I am, which is nice to say out loud.
Hey, listen, it's a great thing. That's what you want out of life, isn't it?
100%.
Bringing it, yeah, just always. You always need more money, though. That's never going to change. Bringing it back to the pit, what's one lesson, Briggs, that you learned from this project or this production overall?
Always have an answer, even if it's not the right one. That's one thing. Especially when you're on set as a director. Like this is my first time as well, but everyone sort of looks to you to make this work. You know what I mean? And I found pretty quickly that you can't not have the answer to what people want. Because if especially it's the same with Premier Battles, like if a battler asks me or a promoter asks me what the situation is, I have an answer for it. If it's not the right one, we figure it out together. But I think that's a very important thing, especially if you want to work in any sort of capacity where people are expecting you to be the what the top. I don't want to say the top, but you know what I mean. Like,
no, the head honcho, yeah, the person that's running
yeah,
it. Yeah.
and always have an answer. But I think there's just like a caveat to that is like, but if it's not the right one, just make sure you're open to taking feedback as well, because I don't know everything. You know what I mean? Like, if I have an idea on something, Trouble, Stroll, Shotty, Rick, if it's Prem, will be the first to pull me up and go, that doesn't quite work. Trouble does it more than anyone, to be honest, which is why I love him. Like, I'll throw an idea in there that I think is going to be great, and then I just go, that'll be shit, that. But you need that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then same on set. Like, I'm very fortunate enough that I work in both worlds with very talented people in what they do. So, yeah, always just having an answer on. The main one on this, again, sounds so hallmark, but fucking enjoy it. Like, just enjoy being on set. It's stressful. It's even at the events, the long days, your back's gone, your knees are sore, you've not had nothing to eat apart from a pack of fucking sugary Haribos just to keep yourself ticking over. Your coffee you've had all day is shit because it's out of a dispenser. But you wake up on the Wednesday morning after shooting 2 days and you're knackered, you feel jet lagged. But what a fucking feeling that was. I'd love to be back. It's 3 days ago. I would love to be waking up tomorrow and going again.
I love it.
And yeah, you just got to enjoy this shit. And you only get one go at it.
That's true, man. That could apply to so many things in life. That could apply to so many things. 100%. And finally, what's the main thing you want people to take away from the pit?
Oh, if people watch it and go, as a battle rap fan, I hope people watch it and go, that's authentic. That's battle rap. That is my experience. Doesn't have to be their experience of the story, but like that's how I see the scene. That for me is everything on this. Because I always try to make this with authenticity. It couldn't be done. I didn't want it to be like, I keep using the same show, and I'm really sorry if anyone's watching this that works on it, but like, I didn't want it to look like Hollyoaks did a battle rap episode. You know what I mean? Like, I was dead set against that happening. Which, yeah, I think I want battle rap fans to watch it and appreciate it, but I also want just general people to watch it and go, that's interesting. If it makes 10% of the people watch it go and watch a battle, then it's done what I wanted it to do. But the main thing is, if I could get this picked up into a series, that would be the goal for me. Like, really turning this culture and this scene into a Netflix series, for example, but using talent like Bobby Rex, Cole J, you know what I mean? Like, using the guys that have been there in the mud when it's not been like that to get in on center stage, and not cheapening it either. I think that's one thing I was saying this to one of the lads. Like, I hope if someone like the reason I've got my arts out of Netflix at the minute is because they give you creative license.
And they're putting a lot of authentic stories on now. There's a lot of people 100%. That get in opportunities to put real things out. You can't be mad at that.
This is a global scene, you know what I mean? It's an untapped market for someone like this, and there's no scope for this to end. For example, we could do a really good season 1. Season 2 could be in Canada, can be in the Philippines, can be in America. Like, it's a global sport with global talent. So yeah, my only worry is that is sort of it getting picked up and then it gets regionalized and put. You know what Netflix are like sometimes? I probably shouldn't say this, but like, they'll stick it in the middle of London and it's all London gangs fighting. Like, that's not what this is. This is a culture. It's a scene. It's a movement in it, really. And it's the only place in the world where, yes, you will get cancelled in a sense, but it's the only thing in the world where you'll get put in a pit against each other and you say the most disrespectful shit and you shake hands and have a beer after it. Like, it's mad. And I feel like we can touch so many social narratives of things that are going on in the world with this as a sport. And
literally you call time and you hug.
Yeah, 100%.
And you go, you smashed it, you killed it, you did amazing. Like, yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it, when you think, like, you could literally say the most horrendous shit. Like, people call each other's family members, there's homophobia, or there's even like the politics side of it is a big one, especially in Ireland. Like, there's so many mad touching points where if that was in a bar, you end up fighting.
Mhm.
But here, for 3 minutes, you can say the wildest. Oh, she called my kids disgusting, right? No one says that in a bar to you, but in a battle rap, it's like, yeah, sweet mate, let's hug. You know what I mean? Time. Oh, come here, mate. That was class. Oh, I loved when you said that. Like, you just annihilated me. But yeah, I feel like it could be a very powerful series if this does get picked up. Just touching on subjects like that as well.
All right. Amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. I know there were quite a few questions there, but I really wanted to get as much as I could from you. But we've got the final segment of the show. Now, this segment of the show is called Mahakama, and this is the Swahili word for court, or specifically high court. Now, this is the segment of the show, Briggs, because I'm trying to be less judgmental in my life. This is a segment where I can be judgmental, judge people, places, things, situations, whatever. Okay. And I encourage my guest co-hosts to join in on the judgment. Obviously, we've been talking about, films, watching films, specifically The Pit. Please go and watch it and support it in any way that you can once you're able to. I have been seeing posts on the internet about how cinema etiquette has gotten worse post-pandemic. I don't know if you've noticed it yourself, having gone to the cinema, but I wanted to get your thoughts on some of the things that people do in the cinema that could be deal breakers or unacceptable. So what we're going to do, we're going to say mercy or no mercy. So mercy means, not that bad, not that big of a deal. No mercy being completely unacceptable. You're a shit person.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So, mercy or no mercy for being on your phone in the cinema?
Not while the film's on. If the trailers are on, fine, not asked. Second that lights come down and the rating comes on with the film name and the 12 or the 15, turn your fucking phone off. I actually sat next to a woman who was on the phone talking while the film was on.
Talking on the phone?
Talking on a video call to the person. So the video call is like through loudspeaker as well. I had to
come on.
Give it a rest.
No, that jail for that person. Sorry, that's a complete no mercy. I think, I'm with you. If it's like if you're super early and it's the TV trailers or it's the film trailers, I don't particularly care if you're, looking at your phone or whatever. But just put on Do Not Disturb. Like, just enjoy the movie. Once the movie started, just because also it's really annoying. Even if they're not, on the phone is crazy anyway. But like, if you just open it quickly to check a notification or send a text or whatever, that glare, because it's so dark in there, that glare goes through the entire place. 100%. So just put your phone away, man. No mercy. All right. No mercy or no mercy for taking pictures in the cinema. This was apparently happening during Barbenheimer last year. People taking pictures of somebody in Oppenheimer, I think it was.
No mercy. I don't know why you would. Why would you? Yeah.
Weird.
I get when people take a picture of like the start of the film to say they're watching the film. I mean, I've never personally done it, but like, I think you're a bit weird if you're taking pictures, unless there's something novelty happening. You know what I mean?
I think it's really weird. Like, I've posted pictures in my story before a film starts, showing that I'm excited to be in the cinema.
Yeah.
But that's not a picture of what's going on the screen. That'll be a picture of me or like the popcorn on the seat, or if I'm in the recliner, it'll be showing that I'm in one of them. Like, that's the most I've ever done when I've posted on the story about being in the cinema.
And you usually do that when you first get in there.
When you first get in there, exactly, because there's still enough light and stuff. You're not using flash and all sorts of things. But in my mind, I'm thinking, if you're in a dark cinema, the film started, you got the star of the film, there's a scene of theirs, and you're just like flashing and all sorts like to take this picture. That's insane.
I'll tell you the only time that is acceptable, right? This is the only time is if you're on the screen. If you're in the back of like fucking Star Wars or something, right?
Yeah.
Take your picture just to say, there's me.
That would probably be at a premiere rather than like a regular old day at the cinema. And I think that's acceptable if it's your film and you're at the premiere and you're in there and you see yourself. Fine. That's fine. That makes total sense. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. What about mercy or no mercy for excessive talking or full-blown conversations? I think we probably covered this, to be fair.
Oh, God.
But this is like in person now, not just on the phone.
It's my pet peeve that. Don't talk in the cinema. Don't.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah. And I'm all for people saying shut the fuck up as well. Like, I've been in the cinema a few times where you'll hear someone going, will you shut up? and it's always usually teenagers. And I get it, you're all
Yes.
out having a buzz or whatever, but just shut up, man. The film's on. I don't want to hear your conversation about fucking Katie and Gary kissing at last night's party. I'm trying to watch the film. Like, yes, honestly, I feel myself bubbling when I'm in the cinema and people are talking. Just die. If it was Gladiator times, I'd just be like, just kill him. Like, just end it. Yeah.
That's okay. That's mad. But no mercy for me too. I do think it's like, mate, like all you've got to do is be quiet for about 90 to 100 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you can literally talk all the rest of the night, all the rest of the day. Why have you chosen this moment to have a full-blown conversation? First of all, you're having a conversation. You're extremely disrespectful. If you're whispering and having a conversation in whisper, your whisper is really loud.
Yeah,
and like I'm just hearing the breath movements of your sentences, and like that's almost more offensive to me. So just stop chatting, man. Just be quiet. Chat beforehand. Sure, if the TV trailers or no one cares. Film trailers, I'm still probably going to look at you funny because I'm trying to watch the film trailers, but that's okay. During the actual film, man, no mercy.
Right. It's even worse when it's someone you're with. Like I won't name and shame him, but I've got a mate that when you go, he'll be like, what's going on? Or what's, and you're like, just fucking shut up. Just
I have been to the cinema with someone who I did not realize was a talker. First of all, that's the one and only time I went to the cinema with them. And secondly, 100% when I realized, oh, you're trying to speak to me this entire time. This isn't just like, I said, will you shut up? And that's my friend. I don't care. I will will you shut up? We'll talk after. Like, I don't.
Yeah, we can talk about the film. I hate when you go like, oh, that was sick. That like, yeah, it was, but we'll talk about that when we get out. Like, we'll digest and fucking recalculate what's just happened in an hour. Like,
I mean, I get if you just saw an insane like Shang-Chi or whatever like action sequence and you go, fucking hell, that was mad. That's all right. Yeah. But I'm not talking to you about it. Like, can we talk after? We can literally have a drink or a meal or something if you want.
100%, yeah. Talking is an absolute. I think I'd end friendships on that.
Listen, if he didn't shut up, I probably would never have spoken to him again. All right. So mercy or no mercy for arriving late? If you're a part of a group or whatever and they arrive late.
Yeah, mercy on that. I think it depends what the situation, you know. If as long as it don't affect my cinema experience, I'm not really that asked.
Speaking as a person who's often late for social things, and it's really bad, and I'm trying to be better, but man, it's hard sometimes. I think mercy, but it depends. It depends on how you come in. Come in as if you're late, right?
Yeah,
come in quietly and like just sit. You know what I mean? Like don't do too much. Don't do hi. Oh my god! Like no, let's talk after. Just sit down. Let's. I already started watching it. If you're late, that's fine. But just shut up and behave like you're late. Don't come in and have a whole to do about everything. Shout out to Mav for this one from the Ick episode Into the Ick of It. Using your phone torch to find your way back to your seat after you've gone to the loo. So when you're coming back from the loo, trying to find where you are, you've lost yourself and you're using your torch on your phone.
Yeah, that's a normal. That's
so crazy.
Yeah, you fucking up everyone's viewing experience there. Like, and not being funny as well. It's not like the cinemas at a car park. You know what I mean? You can look up and know where your seat was straight away.
But the thing is, as well, and I said this in the episode with Mav, the stairs, you know, like the letters on each stair,
they're all red.
It's lit up.
Yeah,
so you could see it. So it's literally why have you got your phone torch on? And this, I have seen that happen. It's crazy.
And the thing is, I don't know why people cinema on your own. When you walk back in, you look up, you can automatically see because you have an idea of where I was sat. You're gonna see your friend or your partner or whoever you was with anyway. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
That's mad. Super mad. No mercy. All right, mercy or no mercy for a noisy baby or toddler. So obviously this is mercy or no mercy for the parents. You know, we're not talking about the kids themselves.
Yeah, I get this a lot when I take the kids to the cinema. I fucking hate it. I mean, it's difficult in it because I've been a parent where I've been there with my kids, and you know, one of them's a bit teary or whatever. But yeah, I don't. It grains on it. When it's not your kid, I want the kid to fucking shut up. When it is your kid, you're more stressed going like. I've always been quite lucky. Though mine kind of get. They've always because they've been since young. They get the cinema. But yeah, it's difficult when it's a good film as well. Usually, obviously, that only really happens on kids' films, doesn't it? So usually, I'm not that asked. But
well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's definitely mercy if you're like, when I was watching Finding Dory years ago or whatever, and there was kids there. Well, imagine me being pissed off that there's kids being kids in the cinema of a kids film.
It's mercy that, because I think as a parent as well, there's nothing more embarrassing a little bit when it is happening because it's your kid, but you can't control that.
Yeah, you're trying your best, man. You'll probably just need to sit down yourself. So, like, I get it. I don't understand why an actual baby would be in the cinema. A baby. I think that's a bit much. But again, mercy if you're at a kids film. Now, if you're at like something that's like a 12 or whatever it is now, is it 12A or whatever? So if it's like one of them and you've got like just a rogue child because you're allowed to, because if the parents there, you're allowed to. Don't do that. I don't think that's okay. Yeah, they're not, especially if because your kid, right? If your kid's got the temperament to like chill out and be able to sit down for 90 minutes or whatever. If they don't do that to people. That's unnecessary.
Yeah, 100%. I've been with Miles to watch a few 12As, like, because obviously a lot of the Marvel films are 12As, so
yeah,
he'll just sit and watch it. He's never really.
He's actually interested in it, and he's
One thing I do hate was, just a sidetrack one, is like when the kids climb up on the seat and look back at you. Like, I will slap your child on the forehead if you keep doing it.
Just mush your child.
No. Like a bop it.
Please don't bop children. That's so funny. All right, so this is the last one. Mercy or no mercy for a lot of PDA in the cinema.
A lot of what?
PDA, a lot of public display of affection, a lot of kissing and just doing a lot in the cinema.
Yeah, I don't like that in public anyway, I'll be honest. The cinema or not. Yeah, just where I was somewhere recently, where was I? I think I was in a bar and just a boyfriend and girlfriend were just like full on necking each other, and it's like, just go home, guys. Like, I don't need to see you licking each other's noses. Yeah, no, it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not that sort of person as a person anyway. Like, yeah, just stay home. Stay home, guys. Netflix and chill it. I don't need to do it while fucking Gladiator 2's on or something. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? It's a bit mad. Like, I'm not a super PDA person myself, and I don't really mind PDA. I think leave people to it, but it depends on how far you're going. Like, if you're just like snogging each other's faces off and it's getting a bit much, like, like what we, and like, especially like in the cinema, because obviously there's that kind of reputation, especially of like when you're younger and you go to cinema, you're trying to be in a dark room with someone, right? But like, go to the back row. Imagine like you've got people sat behind you and trying to watch the film, and there's you just like, it's a bit like, guys, calm down a bit.
It definitely depends what it is. Obviously, like, you see couples where one of them's lying on the other and all that. I'm not bothered about that. You're not ruining my viewing experience of the film, but I don't want to hear you kissing behind me.
Yeah, those sounds, like the ASMR of it all is a bit like, let's everyone calm down, get through the film, and then, do what you need to do at home. Yeah.
And you know what happens as well? Everyone notices it, and then you start seeing other people turning and looking at it, and then next thing you know, you're not watching the film, you're people watching. People watch.
People watching is crazy.
People watch. No, not for me. It depends what it is. Holding hands, cuddling, whatever, that's fine. Just don't ruin my viewing experience of a film.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to summarize it. So yeah, if it's just a little bit, doing what you're going to do is fine, mercy. But yeah, too much and disruptive. Yeah, basically just being disruptive in any way, no mercy.
Yes. Cinema's
people enjoy themselves. A little bit of peace. Little bit of peace. All right, well, listen, that is the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining me today, Briggs. This is usually the part where I ask if there's anything that you'd like to promote or let the people know about. But let's start off with the pit. How can we support the pit now that it's in post-production? What can we do?
Nothing, just keep talking about it, I guess. This is sort of the period where everything gets done now. It's all filmed. It goes into doing its job. But, if you follow me on social media, then you'll notice when I start to ramp up the promo, because that means the film's done and the film's coming out. I think the more conversation about it once we're at that point is great, because festivals will notice that. And, if it's being talked about on the timeline, there's more chance of a distributor coming on board and we can actually turn this into something proper. But yeah, for now, just support Premier Battles, probably the main thing.
Awesome. Anything else you'd like to promote?
Long life and healthiness and positivity and love and kissing at the cinema. Go for it.
Go for it. Not too loud though. Not too much. Don't do too much.
Loud, and don't talk or bring your kid. But no, mate. Just keep watching Premier Battles. This is out Wednesday, is it?
It is.
So Eunice and Slimbuck will be out now. So go and watch that because it is a crazy battle. But yeah,
go support it. In the description, I do have details for how you can go find Premier Battles and go to their socials and get involved and watch some battles. If you've never watched battles and you've just come across this on YouTube or in your ears on Spotify or iTunes, and please do go check it out. I'm sure you'll have a good time. If you like this episode, please do share it with a friend. Please do, if you're listening, make sure that you rate 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. And if you're watching, please engage with the video. Let people know that things are happening here, that you had a good time. Comment, like, subscribe, all of those good things. But other than that, I will see you next week. Bye.